Hi guys, welcome to our podcast.
3 P's in a podcast.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Ashley, and here we go.
Hi guys, welcome to our channel. This is our Taylor Swift episode, another one. So we're going to be talking about Taylor Swift news, breaking down some lyrics today.
Yep. Talk about this Eras tour. Can I start by saying she played Peter as her surprise song? So we're recording this right now on Friday. So she just was in Sweden and just did Peter, and that's my favorite song off this album, and
it's so good.
It was so good watching it.
That beat hit, you were like, Peter!
I did, man. She played one key. I was like, it's Peter. I love that song so much. And just to know that, and I know you can relate to this, knowing that she wrote that song all by herself. I don't know.
It 10 times better.
It does, just knowing this was her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was her feeling. And she even said right before she said it, she was like, this is my favorite song, probably one of my favorite songs off of the album. I've been waiting for a good crowd. And then she did it. And I was like, oh. I really liked the Gorgeous, and I think he knows, because she even does like, he's so gorgeous, and I think he knows. I'm like, stop it.
I loved it. That was one of my favorite mashups.
Yes.
And those aren't, I've always loved Gorgeous, but this is going to make me listen to Think He Knows differently. It definitely altered my brain chemistry in that, because that song it was not on my radar at all. Mm-mm. And even when she played it was the longest time before I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. What is it? Do I know?
It went on forever that I was like, oh, I think he knows.
Yeah.
I just was not expecting that. And that mashup is so good. It's one of my favorites. And it's, like I said, it's already old. As she always does, she alters my brain chemistry.
Yes.
Yep.
I was really excited about the thing, like the whole everything. She did not come out in the orange, like, lover suit today, so I don't know.
It's blue, right?
No, it was Enchanted was blue, which she only wore for the 1989 reveal.
We were like, is debut coming? Like, what is happening?
I don't know what she's doing. And then she wore for 1989 gold and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think at this point she's just messing with us. She's just, I think she's just living life and like, I'm going to do whatever I want, guys.
Honestly, I was sitting there thinking today, I was like, she most likely is just like wearing different outfits to wear different outfits, and we're like because she does it for like the release dates is when she'll change all of her outfits, so we're always like,
I mean, there's a reason we all think everything is an Easter egg.
I know.
Yeah, she does it. You never know when it's going to be an Easter egg, or if it's just her wearing whatever color she wants.
So that's kind of So that's kind of something we're kind of doing. We're doing a lyrical breakdown on this segment, for most of these segment shows, but that's kind of why. Are there hidden Easter eggs in these songs?
Yeah.
Because the parallels in this album to past songs, to other artists, to songs inside this album is wild. And I have been breaking down so many, and I know I'm not even close to how much parallels there are.
Yeah.
But before we do that, it's time to dive into the big news of Swifties this week. Harrison.
I could not believe when I saw that. Like, I don't even know this man. I don't know anything about football or anything.
It was like he said, let me say every controversial, offensive thing that I can say. I'm going to talk politics. I'm going to talk pride stuff. I'm going to talk Taylor Swift. Get her name out of your mouth.
My
I know she's
teammate's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Girlfriend. Yeah, my teammate's
girlfriend. Like, I get that you didn't say her name, but we all know what you meant. Yes. Stop it.
And if you're going to quote her, use her fucking name.
Yes.
Have the balls to say her name if you're going to quote a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like she's the complete opposite of what you're talking about here, like her as a person. So why do you feel the need to quote her? And you're quoting her from a song That
Yes,
is about
that was my
a
words.
man or a woman saying, "Step aside, man. Like, I'm doing my own thing."
I know, and to be at a graduation ceremony of all these women that had just worked for years to get this degree and be like the most that you're ever going to accomplish to become mommies and kids.
Yes. What you should be doing in your life is being a wife and a mother.
This was basically all a waste of time to you. Sorry for them lying to you.
Yeah.
Like,
and I saw that his own mother has a degree. I think she's a physiologist or something. Like, she has a very respectable degree.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder what she's thinking.
I mean, Taylor Swift she has her doctorate. Yeah. She has her PhD. She is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not married, doesn't have kids, but this strong woman who is a businesswoman, you know what I mean? The biggest artist ever. Mm-hmm. You're going to quote her, and she's not what you're talking about at all.
Yeah.
Not even a glimpse. But I have to say, when you go back and see like that old clip of Patrick Mahomes talking about Harrison, I never noticed. I had seen that clip, I know, before. Now, see, I love football. I knew who Harrison was before this. I knew who had Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, and all of them were before all this. Mm-hmm. But anyways, with that being said, I had seen that clip before, but I had never thought anything of it.
Yeah.
Until you see, like, no, he does not like him. He does not hang out with him. He does not.
Yeah, that's
and
not
he knew.
His first, yeah.
You know, Brittany's. I know Brittany Mahomes gets a lot of hate, but that's Patrick Mahomes' wife. He loves her. Mm-hmm. He cherishes her. She is not just some woman at his house cooking him dinners and taking care of his kids. He seems so appreciative that she does those things for him so he can have this career.
Yeah.
And she's so appreciative for him to have this career, to build this. I mean, they are high school sweethearts. I don't know. She gets a lot of hate. I think they're adorable. Yes. I love her. She's a Swiftie. I think it's absolutely so cute.
Yes. I do have to applaud the Chiefs for coming out and being like, that we do not stand by what he said. That was not associated with us. He was not speaking on behalf, because
I appreciate that too, especially because I have seen things too, like Colin Kaepernick spoke his mind and lost his job because of it. He stood his ground on what he believes and lost his job because of it. So
is this going to be different for Harrison?
Yeah.
I don't think it should. I mean, you offended women. You offended Swifties. You offended the LGBTQ.
Yep.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone very important. Oh, but I mean, politics. I mean, you know, liberals and Democrats and things like that. Like,
it wasn't the time.
Yeah, religion. You also brought religion into this and offended different religious beliefs and things. And it wasn't the time or place.
It almost feels like we should play like Taylor Swift's graduation speech, and because that's what a graduation speech should be.
That's a commencement.
One of us here today has done it alone. We are each a patchwork quilt of those who have loved us, those who have believed in our futures, those who showed us empathy and kindness, or told us the truth, even when it wasn't easy to hear. Those who told us we could do it when there was absolutely no proof of that. Someone read stories to you and taught you to dream and offered up some moral code of right and wrong for you to try and live by. Someone tried their best to explain every concept in this insanely complex world to the child that was you as you asked a bazillion questions like, how does the moon work? And why can we eat salad but not grass?
Yeah, not whatever that was. That felt like a political, not political, but
your own agenda,
publicity, that type thing.
Are you really that dumb to stand up and say this?
Yeah. I also have to I know all the NFL scheduling came out yesterday, and there's so many people making little digs at him.
Oh my gosh, the Sims one with him in that kitchen cooking and cleaning and arranging flowers. I mean, it's too good.
Did you see the one where they did all the families and the groups, and he's just standing there by himself, yeah, no one wants to be friends with you. You offended everyone.
It's interesting to see. I don't know what will happen. I think one of two things is definitely going to happen. Is he's going to get fired. You know what I mean? He did technically break his contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not a good image for the Chiefs. And
No.
you are expected to hold a good image.
Especially right now.
Especially right now. Contracts just got finalized.
All eyes are on you.
All eyes are on the Chiefs.
Yep. Yep. And, or they're just not going to, you know what I mean? They might not want to risk breaking his contract, even though they have every right to do so. I know that stuff, that, you know what I mean? There is gray areas here. There are, you know what I mean? These are opinions he has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what do we do with this? But I don't think they would renew his contract. You know what I mean? I think they will absolutely find a new kicker. They
cut their ties when they need to.
Yes. They cut their ties when they need to. They have no problem doing that.
Yeah. So he obviously is getting all this backlash from this speech.
And this is PR statement. This is what's reined us back. And it just makes it worse.
I was like, this is what you really decided on. Everyone is taking what I said out of context. All I said is that we should get back to a better time, like the 50s and the 60s, when men were men and women had more babies than thoughts. When the only Me Too movement was one woman saying she was ready for her 4th child and another woman agreeing.
That is disgusting.
That's your apology.
That's your apology. We're gonna hunker down and we should go back to the 50s where women didn't have rights and all they had was babies.
No, we can't have credit cards.
Yeah, 50s and 60s were great for white men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to separate but equal.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's disgusting that he says the only Me Too movement we have is when women want to have more kids. Like, the Me Too movement means nothing. Like,
yeah, like you're also now adding another person to be mad at you. Of like, okay, my first speech I covered pride, I covered politics, I covered Taylor Swift,
and here's now sexual assault victims.
Yeah, let's add sexual assault victims to the list of like what?
I mean, when you just think this idiot can't get any dumber, he speaks again.
He speaks again.
I mean, just bottom line. And the other thing, oh gosh, I almost forgot this. Justin and I were talking earlier, and I even said, I wish I would not have said that to you out loud because I'm not going to be able to voice that as good now this time. But his religious takings, I will say lightly, by this is he's like, you know, this is Catholic values. This is Christian values. No. Just because you're choosing what you are picking and plucking from your Bible does not mean that is the word of God.
Yeah.
Just because you are twisting things the way that you are does not mean that is the word of God. And for you to just say, oh, that's the way Christianity should be, and that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is, I am Christian, and that is not okay to do or say. Like, absolutely not.
And he's also acting like he has all of this right to say these things. You are a kicker. I get kickers are important, but you're a kicker. You're not on that field majority of the game.
You're 40 seconds on that field. You know, I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to fault you on that. You do kick that damn ball. Yes. Good. You absolutely do. But you're on that field for like 40 seconds a night.
Yeah. Like, some other people are working a little harder and have a little more room to speak.
You really said something about a soccer player? It might have been Freddie.
No, it was me. Yeah, they. It's well known that NFL players get some of their kickers from soccer teams.
Yeah.
Soccer players absolutely
make a lot more money in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll make more money in the NFL, and they can kick a ball.
Yeah.
You know, so. Buddy,
count your days, buddy.
Yeah,
they're numbered.
They've had kickers before you, and they're going to have kickers after you.
Yeah,
you're not the only one.
Yeah, you're not special.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But my favorite thing too is he constantly he will say things like, "You just stay in their lane. You just stay in their lane, buddy. You need to stay in your lane.
Please.
Go kick your ball because I think." You're about to get fired.
Yeah, you done messed up.
So, today, we would like to cover Clara Bow for our lyrical breakdown today.
Yes, I was the one that was really excited. Before the album even came out, I had started hearing the story of Clara Bow, and I was like, guys, I'm excited for this. And you're guys like, who is that? I don't know.
Yes, before the song, I had no idea who Clara Bow was. And you know me. I'm not the stories. The stories are not...
They're not your thing. I am a sucker for some stories.
I am too.
Yes.
I love things like that. Like, it's like it paints this full picture, and that's what this song does so good.
It's like listening to a book, but it's shorter. Like, I don't have to spend all this time. I just get this quick, sweet story and well written. And so, obviously, I guess we could talk about, like, there's quotation marks, like, throughout this whole thing of, like, it definitely feels like it's supposed to be a conversation.
Yes.
Between, like, the person in a record label talking to, like, the manager of the, like, label. And
so I guess we could start with, like, the first verse starts out as they're talking to Clara Bow, who was a big iconic it girl in the 20s, the roaring 20s. She blew up. I don't know a ton about her still, honestly.
She was the first it girl. She was the first person that was in a movie that was labeled the first it girl. And she was, like, you know, any other person. She got her fame and stuff, but she did deal with a lot of mental health issues before this. She grew up in a house with her mom, who was also schizophrenic and who had at one point had to be hospitalized because she tried to attack Clara, and she went through a lot in her life. And there was, I forget exactly who it is. I think it was like the receptionist at her label or something came out with this book about lies about her. And it was about her, like, her sex life. I forget exactly what the name of the book is, but it's like she was into bestiality and she was having affairs. And it's just all of this, like, rumors and lies into a book. And it caused her to have a mental breakdown. And when she went into the hospital and came out, it was hard for her ever to restart her career again because of it.
This, I didn't even write this down because it was not a thought until us talking right now. And this will be more of a question for Jess, but it definitely gives me... People have always said that the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo reminds them of Taylor Swift.
I was just thinking that,
but I don't think it does. I think it reminds me more of Clara Bow. And if you haven't read the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, it's about, she's the it girl.
Yeah.
She's beautiful and maybe even kind of feels like the same time frame too.
Oh, it definitely is, right?
It feels like it, definitely.
1920s.
I would say maybe not as much because the in the book, the, like, current time, obviously Evelyn Hugo's still alive.
Yes, that's true. That is so true.
Still alive.
Yes,
I mean, they could be.
They could be, but you agree, it was not 100. Absolutely. So you're right. So you are more 50s, 60s, but still. So Evelyn Hugo, and it's about her life. She's the it girl. So she's kind of, you're going through these husbands and things like that, and she is never with the person who she really loves, and the person she really loves is Cecilia, her best friend. And we had talked about Clara Bow is also bisexual.
Yes.
So it reminded me even more of Clara Bow just now, kind of talking to you about this. And Evelyn Hugo definitely goes through some mental health stuff and struggles. And
because I know there was a lot of, like, I shouldn't say suspicion. There was no knowledge that she slept with women and males.
Right.
Like, this wasn't a secret that Clara did that, but it also wasn't a time where it was, like, accepted either. Yes, it was like people knew she did it, but it wasn't accepted either. I do like the "you be picked like a rose" because it kind of has this, like, you're so beautiful, like, you pick them and stuff, but, like, when you pick a rose, it dies.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
which brings me to my next line, because it says, "But I think I might die if it happens," and we're gonna start keeping notes.
I think I'm gonna, like, put a tally.
Yes, we're gonna put a tally, because we definitely noticed in this album the reference to death, dying, killing is
a lot,
a huge, strong.
Almost every song.
It's almost every song, and I think Ashley and I did a quick tallying of them, and it wasn't every song, but we did a quick one in my car before we're about to go inside. So I can't wait to dive deep into these. But here is Clara Bow's "Die If It Happens."
I think it's like, you look like Clara Bow, like, da da da, and it's like, I would die to have that stardom that Clara had. I would die, but then it's also, like, that double meaning of, like, I would die if what happened to Clara happened to me.
Exactly.
I think it has a very good double meaning.
Exactly. Some of these I kind of made funny little remarks, because she talks like, I die, like, no one in my small town thought I'd see the lights of Manhattan is one of the things. And she does more towns later on. But right there, and I was just like, welp, because it's kind of cute. Like, I'm sure she did think at one point, like, I will never be in Manhattan, probably. I'll never get to see the lights in LA and the other cities that she names. And it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
She was a small town girl. Okay.
And I think, like, even in, like, going back to Speak Now, she kind of touches that in Mean of, like, a big old city and all you're ever going to be mean. Yeah, like, she always had this aspiration to, like, get to Manhattan or, like, the big city and perform. And, like, you're going across country and performing.
Yeah.
Which is so funny that you picked Mean because that song is written because her and Stevie Nicks did some sort of song together or something, and the critics were mean to them about it. So that song was for them being critics on her and Stevie Nicks, like doing a collab or something together. I don't remember exact, but I know it's something about her and Stevie Nicks, and critics were mean.
Yes.
And that's what that song was about. So it's crazy that you used Mean as another parallel.
Yeah, so, like, there's Mean, but also if you go back to her Woman of the Year, I think, the interview, and she was going through, she pulls out, like, this Stevie Nicks Barbie doll and was, like, showing it off. Like, was that an Easter egg for, like, this song all the way down here?
You know it was.
Maybe it's just that she's always maybe been compared. Maybe she's been told that before. Like Stevie Nicks.
That's so true.
And that maybe, like, that is what
and Stevie could have kind of, like, felt, like, in a way, like, took her under her wing, and we, like, really didn't realize that.
It is sad. Like, the lyrics of the song, like, I'll give everything. I just want this to happen so bad for me. And then, like, promise to be dazzling.
One of the other things is, like, breathing fresh air through smoke rings. Like, if you think about it, back in time, everyone was smoking and then, like, they did the smoke rings.
Wow.
And so it's like she's the fresh air and all of this, like, smoke.
Wow.
It's so sad really looking at this song to see all of these stars throughout time that blew up, these, like, young women who wanted it so bad, and it's just, all the things that come along with it. Yeah.
The toll that it takes, especially on our childhood stars.
Yes.
That's a whole nother topic. I could go on forever about that.
So the next verse is about Stevie Nicks.
Yes.
And I love Stevie Nicks.
I know. I love, Stevie Nicks is the it girl of 75.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of like that the crowd goes wild at her fingertips, because that is, Taylor also does that. She plays a lot into it, of, like, the pointing and, like, proving that she can make a crowd go wild at her fingertips.
Even does her little wave. Her little contribution to, her tribute. I didn't mean I can always say contribution. Her tribute to Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. And again, I thought I'd never meet these suits in LA. So there's another, which I don't have another song to compare that to besides the Mean.
That's okay. Mean made it perfect to parallel those two together.
Yeah, it talks about, like, this town is fake, but you're the real thing. And
more
it's
brush.
like all these women have been told the same thing. From, like, Hollywood.
Exactly.
I guess, is Hollywood the music industry too, or is that just the movie industry? People say old Hollywood.
I guess
gives the same vibes.
I was gonna say,
music
I think, like,
industry,
if you're
Hollywood.
talking about old Hollywood, I think it's kind of both. But it's, I think now in today's day and age is where it gets, like, tricky.
Movies,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know how I really feel about this lyric, but it just stuck out to me as, like, the crown is stained, but you're the real
I was
queen.
just looking at that
I
too.
agree. I didn't write anything on that. I didn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say, but it definitely sticks out as, like...
I think
and then
what I take from it is, like, the crown is stained. Like, these other women before you, this crown is stained, but you're the real queen. Like, you're it.
Yes.
Let's put it on
there
you
it
now.
is. 100% Jess. Good one.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're the new god we're worshiping.
Fresh in blood amongst.
But blood, sweat, and tears were stained on this crown before it was given to you.
It's like, well, here you go. It's not, fresh and beautiful anymore, but you're the next thing. So there you go.
Good luck.
Yep. And then we have beauty as a beast that roars. And I feel like it's that, like, well, if you're beautiful, like, it's the beauty standard. Like, if you're beautiful, then you can't complain. Like, it just comes with the territory.
Absolutely. But it's also just another Disney reference, which is really cool to me. I mean, it's like we obviously have the Peter and the Peter Pan, and now we have Beauty and the Beast here. So that was something I kind of made note of, that I'm like, ooh, I want to see how many more of those there are.
Yep. And then demanding more only when your girlish glow flickers just so. Like, once you age and you're not that girlish figure anymore, then
And Taylor Swift has talked about that too. Like it's I'm not gonna say it's easy to be a pop star when you're in your early 20s, but as pop stars, holding on to that pop star status is harder the older you get.
Absolutely. And actors that came forward so many times saying that you know what I mean? It's harder to get a job when you're older. It's harder, you no longer have that youth and that vibrancy and all that stuff that you need to be just in your 20s.
Yeah. It's hell on earth to be heavenly. Like, even though you have all of this fame and you think, like, what more could she want? It's still hard to have all. I think we've talked about this before. Like, I could not imagine not being able to leave my house just when I want to and having to have security and having to have, like,
and just the standards that fame puts on you.
Yes, like fame is different. Yes.
Absolutely. It's,
And then it ends with "You look like Taylor Swift."
The full circle.
Next pop star, like, in this light, we're loving it. Which I've seen that she could be talking about Sabrina Carpenter, like new, young, up and coming pop stars. Wow, you look like Taylor Swift in this light. Like,
it very much is. It gives that, like, I know I saw so many people like, oh my gosh, she said Taylor Swift. I'm like, it's kind of sad because she's saying, like, she's hit her, like, highest. Like, she's now Stevie Nicks and Clara Bona,
comparing them to her. Like, wow, you could be the next Taylor Swift.
Yes, but it's that full circle, it's just, it's always going to happen, you know what I mean? Taylor Swift is going to one day step down.
Yeah.
And there will be the new cool best thing.
Yeah.
And it's the "You've Got Edge, She Never Did."
Yeah.
So one of the things that I guess, like, I called Chelsea and I was like, I was just reading, like, the lyrics and listening to Clara Boa, and I'm reading the lyrics, and obviously she says dazzling so many times in this. And let me look. I think she says it at the end, so, like, right after Clara.
Yep.
And then she says it right after Stevie.
I think I counted 3 or 4 times she says
it.
It's
the end of the verses.
Yes. And so none of those are capitalized, but the very last one, she has it capitalized, dazzling. ...
Dazzling.
And so it's I called Chelsea and was like, is this a hint to the Dazzler? And because we've had so many theories of, like, she's part of Marvel, she's around Blake Lively, she's around like, this is something we're hinting at.
Is the face of Deadpool.
Yes, and so we've learned, like, she's got her way in, and it would make so much sense for them to pick her as, like, their Dazzler.
She puts their kids' names into her song.
Yes,
so they're obviously very close. They have their Easter eggs together.
Like we also had just talked about, Blake Lively is starring, and it ends with Us.
Yes,
and there's Taylor Swift's song in the trailer immediately. You know what I mean?
It's very likely.
Yep. And then obviously, as everyone knows, you couldn't have missed it when Taylor Swift was going to the Chiefs games. There's Blake, there's Ryan, like they're very close.
I guess some things together.
Yes. It doesn't feel like just friends hanging out. Yep. It feels like a collab, but it's a little Easter eggy.
Yes. I was trying to pull it up, but I can't find it exactly. They also, Marvel just posted, like, their movie poster for like, Dazzler, and it was, like, rising from the ashes and, like,
very phoenixy. And
like, it's even like she's wearing a bodysuit. I'm like, that's the Lover bodysuit. Like, what do you mean?
And I think that is I was about to say Dazzler she's dazzling, she's sparkling, she's a pop star, very bejeweled, and she's blonde. Poppy.
It's like a pop star by day and a superhero by night.
I'm just saying, if it's not Taylor Swift, you're going to have so many disappointed people.
Marvel fans.
No matter, you could have Blake Lively, and you are going to have disappointments
because she's the perfect fit. Who else?
And the way it's kind of been hyped, it feels like
this feels like an Easter egg.
This feels like an Easter egg. Dazzling.
A song, what it's about in general.
Yes.
And,
I cannot believe I'm going to have to go watch those stinking movies.
I know. I'll find the, like, poster that I was talking about that says all of that and insert it. But
so Ashley's fiance, my brother, that's his favorite. Deadpool is his favorite superhero. Is that what he is? I don't know. Whatever. His favorite of any of those kind of guys, that's his one. So before him and Ashley were ever together, when the first Deadpool came out, he's like, sis, you have to watch it. You're going to love it. This is so good. This is my favorite. I love these comics. I've been so excited about this. on and on and on. So I very am excited to watch this because I like
popular things.
Yes, and I usually like things like even X-Men, and I don't know. I had brothers, you know what I mean? So I was always, I play video games.
Yeah.
I do these things. I like football. I don't know. I've always been like that. And so I was excited. Like, yeah, let's do. Absolutely not.
I can't do superhero movies. I've watched Iron Man.
I
Captain
love
America.
Spider-Man. That's one of my favorites.
I remember watching the first Spider-Man and liking it, but it would never be something that I'm like, I'm gonna watch this.
I would probably like Spider-Man if I sat down and watched it. I've tried to watch Captain America, not my thing. I've tried to watch like the Batman movies, not my thing. Like I've tried a few different ones. I do like Iron Man. Like if that movie is on, I will kind of pay attention to it. Like I told Chelsea, like he is probably my favorite superhero because he is. Unless you're getting into Guardians of the Galaxy, I have watched every one of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, at least, but still not my thing.
Yeah.
Wrap us up?
Yep.
That'll be it.
Thank you guys so much for watching our Taylor Swift.
That was a fun one.
That was fun. We want to do this every week, every
Yep.
Thursday.
So, every Taylor Swift will be out on Thursdays.